Hi, my name is Dr. Nathan Groot. I am a music instructor at the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts, where I teach string ensemble and applied string lessons. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the junior high set of scales for the all-region audition in the southern part of Arkansas, so the southern region. So if you're in that region, you'll have to play scales in this specific way, these specific scales that we go over today in your audition, or at least a selection from them. First, a couple of notes. These things are all written on your paper, so these are mostly just reminders because you will have already seen this information, but I think it's always good to repeat it just to make sure we're all clear on everything. So all of our scales have a specific tempo, 80 beats per minute. We're going to play them just détaché, one note per bow. We don't need to do any slurs or anything like that. In my own scale practice and teaching, I have my students play all sorts of different variations and bowings, and if your teacher's having you do that, that's fantastic. You should definitely do that. However, remember that for your all-region audition, you should play it in this specific way. So just remember, on your metronome, it should be 80. Remember, you won't have your metronome in the audition room, so you're going to want to practice both with and without your metronome just to see if you can remember how fast 80 is. And then also make sure that you're not slurring or anything like that. We want everything to be détaché, smooth, and connected. Another important thing is you need to repeat the top note of the scale. This is something you may or may not do in your normal scale practice, but just remember, for all region, you should practice it that way because in the moment, it might be hard to remember, right? So in the lead up to the audition, just make sure you're practicing repeating that top note so that when you're in the audition, you won't accidentally forget to. You may or may not be working on vibrato right now in your private lessons. However, remember, with these scales, we don't want any vibrato. We want just the pure sound. It's tempting to sometimes go on autopilot. I catch myself doing it sometimes too. But the way to combat that is just to practice without vibrato, and if you add vibrato, just to kind of catch yourself and think, oh wait, no, I can't do that here, because I'm preparing specifically for this audition that asks for no vibrato. There will be one major scale and one minor scale chosen from our selection, which we will go over here in just a moment. Our major scale will be 2 octaves and our minor scale will be 1 octave. So as you're learning your minor scales elsewhere at school, in orchestra class, in your lessons, you may be playing a different form of minor than is asked for in this audition. This audition asks for a natural minor scale. Now, if you're not super clear on the differences between the 3 forms of minor, natural, harmonic, and melodic minor, that's okay. It's a good time to go ahead and learn the differences between those 3 forms of minor. Natural minor is just going to be exactly what the key signature says. No alterations made. Harmonic minor, our 7th note of the scale is raised, both up and down. Melodic minor, the 6th and 7th note of the scale are raised on the way up and then lowered on the way down. If this is new information to you, don't worry about it too much because the one that you have to play for the audition is the natural minor scale, which doesn't require you to think about any sort of alterations or anything. You're just going to play exactly what the key signature says, okay? One last important thing in terms of rules is you're going to have to play the octaves that are asked for. So make sure that you take a look at that scale sheet. If you're having trouble finding the actual scale sheet, just double check on the ASBOA website that you've gone to the separate South Region website. Go to the junior high audition material, click on the violin file there, and it'll have your excerpts that you play, but then it'll also have the scales at the bottom, and those are actually written down for you. Now, the important thing is, you can't bring the scales in to the audition. They have to be memorized along with your fingerings. So make sure that between now and the audition time, you can use that music to make sure everything is, you're playing the right notes and everything, and you can write in fingerings, that sort of thing. But go ahead and start early on the memorization process. Try maybe starting with your music, and then halfway through your practice session, moving over here and trying to do it just from memory to see what happens. The more you do that earlier, the better, and the less stressed you might be on audition day. Okay, so let's turn to this thing behind me. This doesn't really necessarily look like our scale sheet. This is basically a hastily drawn, sort of sloppy, my apologies, sloppy version of half of the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths, and I'll throw an image of the full circle of fifths up on the screen, but it's a helpful way to sort of conceptualize the scales we're working on. For our audition, we're going to go up to 3 flats and up to 3 sharps. All the majors are on top in capital letters, and the relative minors are down here. So when you're working on these scales, one way to sort of help with the memorization process and to actually understand what's going on is to think about the music theory aspect. And I'm just going to sprinkle that in a little bit today. We're not going to go super deep on the music theory, but I think it's important to start thinking about how this is actually working. And as we go through the scales, we'll just sort of talk about it very briefly, but mostly I'm just going to give you the fingerings and help you work through those. So we're going to go through these scales really methodically, really slowly, and at the end of the video, we're just going to play them through with the metronome. So if you already know how to play them, I don't need all this instruction, I just want to hear them played. You can just skip ahead. Alright, so if you take a look at your major scale sheet, the first one there is a C major scale. It starts on your 3rd finger on the G string. So let's just talk a little bit about the key of C major. We see here, key of C major, 0 sharps, 0 flats. Everything is natural in this key. Let's talk really quickly about what that means for our left hand on each string. So if you're just playing in the key of C major, you're going to have a 2-3 finger pattern on the G string. You're going to have a 1-2 finger pattern on the D string. You're going to have a 1-2 finger pattern on the A string, and you're going to have an open or no fingers touching finger pattern on the E string. So this is 2 octaves. Let's go through it really slowly. We start with C, 3rd finger, and then you can either play 4th finger or open, D, and then we have E, 1st finger. F natural is going to touch that E, so that's just a half step above E. Then we have G, 3rd finger. A can be 4th finger or open. Then we have B, 1st finger. Then we have C natural, which touches B. Now we've reached C natural, we've now played 1 octave, but remember that the major scales in this audition are going to be 2 octaves, so that means we need to keep going. We have D, 3rd finger. We have E, you can play 4th finger or open. Then we have F natural. This is going to be a low 1, low 1. Then we have G. Now we're going to have to shift, okay? So from 1st finger, you can either shift on the A string or the E string. In this case, I'm happening to shift on the E string, so we're going to shift up to A, 1st finger, in 3rd position. That's going to be the same as your 3rd finger in 1st position. So really quickly, and we won't do this every time, but just in case you need a little refresher on shifting, the act of shifting itself, our hand remains the same from 1st to 2nd to 3rd. Our thumb just moves along with our 1st finger. We don't want things moving ahead or behind. We want everything moving like a train on a train track, right? The finger is just going to glide, so let off that finger pressure and it's just going to glide up and you're going to reach that point. If you need to practice shifting just between 1st position and 3rd position, you You can practice sort of hearing that without pressing the string down, because that would create just a glissando. You can let off that finger pressure and it'll sound kind of raspy. And then you can let the finger pressure down again. So practicing shifting is going to be important, and these scales will make you practice shifting. Just make sure you're shifting with care and try to shift as slowly as you can get away with. In other words, keep your form. Don't sort of leap, sort of a flying leap to get there just because it feels like we have to jump there. You don't really have to jump there, you just have to glide up. Okay, so we were on second finger G. We're going up to first finger, third position A. B is a whole step above that. And then C natural, the top of our scale, is a third finger that touches B. Now we're going to repeat that note, because we're going to repeat the top note of the scale. Go down, A. Now we're going to shift back down. Everything stays the same. We're going to second finger G. Then first finger, a low 1. E, D, C. Everything's the same as we go down. Okay? All right, so let's return now to our half of a circle of fifths. If you look here, here's C major. Look right below it. This is the relative minor key. It also has no sharps, no flats, except now our tonic pitch, our first scale degree, first note of the scale, is A instead of C. So this is the relative minor of the key of C major. That would be A minor. We're going to play an A natural minor scale. If you check your scale sheet, that's going to start on your open A string. So just remember that it's going to be no sharps, no flats, starting on your open A string. So we're going to start on open A, B, C natural touches B, D, E, you can play open or 4, F natural is going to be a low 1, G, A. And here we are, we're back at A. We only have to play one octave for the minor scale. So we're going to play the A again, the top note again, go back down, F natural, E, D, C natural, B, A. So there's your A natural minor scale. All right, back to the major scales. You'll notice on the second line here, there's been a sharp added. That sharp is F sharp. There's only one sharp in this key signature. We move from 0 sharps to 1 sharp. That's going to be the key of G major. Now, these are the order of the sharps. It keeps going, but these are the only ones we're going to sort of pay much attention to right now. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. So the first sharp that's added is F sharp, and that's going to be our G major scale, which has 1 sharp. That is F sharp. So in the key of G major, on the G string, we have a 2-3 finger pattern, another 2-3 finger pattern on the D string. On the A string, we have a 1-2 finger pattern, and then also a 1-2 finger pattern on the E string. And we'll go through that one note at a time, okay? So let's start on open G. First finger A, second finger B, third finger C is a half step above it. You can play fourth finger or open D, first finger E, second finger F sharp, third finger G is a half step above that, open A or fourth finger A, first finger B, second finger C natural, half step above, then we have third finger D, fourth finger or open E, then we have a first finger F sharp, and then G, which is a half step above that. Play it twice and then back down. So let's go back to our minor scales. You can look at the minor scales. You'll see that it has one sharp, the next one. That is E minor. So this is our E minor scale. Our E minor scale is going to start with our first finger on the D string. Okay, so we'll just go note by note. E natural, F sharp, right, because it's in the key, G natural, fourth finger or open A, B, C natural, D, and here I would use a fourth finger so we're not crossing for just one note, fourth finger E. We finished it, we're gonna play the top note again, back down, second finger, first finger, open, third finger, F sharp, E. Okay? Alright, so we're at the third major scale. This is measure 17 on your sheet. This is D major. We've added another sharp. So now instead of just having F sharp, we have F sharp and C sharp. So we have two sharps. So we're going to play our D major scale. This starts on our open D string. So let's start on D, open D, E, first finger, F sharp, G, gives us a nice 2-3 finger pattern. You can play fourth finger A or open A, B, natural, C sharp, that's a high 2, D, there's our first octave, another 2-3 finger pattern on our A string, going on to E, F sharp, G natural touches F sharp. Now we need to shift up to A. So first position to third position. Hand remains the same, thumb comes with us, just everything smoothly gliding up. We've got a first finger on A, second finger on B, third finger on C sharp, and then D touches C sharp. There's the top of our scale. We're going to repeat that fourth finger, back down, C sharp, B, A. Now we're going to shift down to first position, second finger, G goes right above that F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. Alright, we're going to go down to our minor scales again. What's the relative minor of D major? Well, that is B minor. So if we really wanted to, we probably could start an octave lower, but we're not going to because our sheet asks us to play this in a specific octave, starting not on the G string, but on the A string. So we're going to start with our first finger on B on the A string. Okay? So we're going to start on this. We're going to have two sharps. Remember, these are F sharp and C sharp. So we're starting on B. So B natural, C sharp, D touches C sharp, then we have E, then we have F sharp, G natural touches F sharp, A, and then B. We don't have to shift because we can get it with our fourth finger. Repeat it, back down. Okay, there's your B natural minor scale. All right, we only have one sharp major scale left. It's A major, and it has three sharps. That's going to have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So in our A major scale, we're going to have a 3-4 finger pattern on our G string. We're going to have a 3-4 finger pattern on our D string. Going to have a 2-3 on our A string and another 2-3 on our E string. So let's just go through that note by note, okay? So it's going to start out on our first finger on the G string. Good thing about this scale, Doesn't have any shifting, which is always nice. So let's start on that A, first finger, A, B, high 3, C sharp. You can play fourth finger or open D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then either fourth finger or open A, B natural, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and there's our second octave. Let's repeat it. Back down. There's our A major scale. Now, let's take a look at its relative minor, which is our F sharp minor scale, F sharp natural minor scale. So that's just going to start on a high 2 on the D string. So let's find that, F sharp. There's our F sharp. Now remember, we have 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So let's go through this. F sharp, G sharp is a whole step above that, so a high 3. And then we have A, B, C sharp, D, which is a half step above C sharp, and then E, and then F sharp. We can go back down, let's repeat it. E, D, C sharp, B, A, G sharp high 3, F sharp. There's our F sharp minor scale. Guess what? We're done with the sharps. We can move on to the flats. So, we've moved up in fifths. This is why it's called the circle of fifths. But we can actually go down this way, counterclockwise, in fourths. Or if you're reading it clockwise, it's still fifths. But that's how these intervals invert. So let's go back to nothing. We have no sharps, no flats. We've already done C though, so we can skip right over to 1 flat. So this is going to be our F major scale, which has 1 flat. F major is the scale that asks you to go the highest, and it will require us to shift into 5th position. So I want to talk really quickly about what that means for our hand. So I mentioned before that when we shift from 1st through 2nd through 3rd, our hand remains the same. Now, when we shift above 3rd position, 4th position, our thumb comes halfway around and is under the neck like this. Our arm starts to come closer to us, or our elbow starts to come closer to the center of our body, which brings our hand around. And then when we go to 5th position, we are all the way around. So we're curved around like this. Our thumb is under the neck like this. If you need to check, use your pinky finger to pluck your lowest string, your G string. That will determine if you are fully around. Because if you drop your finger and it goes like this, it means you're not far enough around. We want to be around so that we can drop all of our fingers on the string where we want them to go without changing our hand when we're in position. I see that a lot with scales. I see people shift up and then they have to come around with each finger. But the problem is it will never work at a fast tempo. So go ahead and practice. When you practice this now, go ahead and get all the way around, bass knuckles up and in for that higher position, okay? We'll go through it slowly though. So I mentioned that we have 1 flat. What flat is it? If we look over here, our order of flats is B flat, E flat, A flat. So we have 1 flat. I think my bird's in the way. He'll fly over here for a second. So if we have 1 flat, that's going to be B flat. And so this key of F major is going to have 1 flat. So this starts on 2nd finger, F natural. That's going to be a low 2, okay? F natural, G, A, B flat is a low 1, C. Now we could keep going. However, I think you should do your first of 2 shifts on the A string. Why? Because if you wait to do them both one after another, it's a little too much all at once, in my opinion. You can do it, but I like to shift up a little earlier the first time to kind of space those shifts out. So we've just played C natural. Now I'm going to shift up to a first finger D, follow the same rules we've done before. And then we're going to play E, and then an F, third finger, which touches the E because it's an F natural. Then fourth finger G, first finger A, on the E string, of course. And then B flat is going to touch A. Here it comes. We're going to shift up to 5th position. So take that first finger, and it's coming up to a C natural. It should sound just like what your third finger would be. Watch it from this side. See how my thumb comes under? Make sure you're doing that. Make sure your fingers are up. If you drop your fourth finger, does it go on the string or does it go on the instrument? Make sure you're round enough to go on the string. Our first finger is on C natural, D, E, F natural. So in 5th position, this is a 3-4 finger pattern. Our 3 and 4 are touching each other, okay? We're going to repeat that F, E, D, C. Oh, we're going back to third. So we're going to come around and be back in this hand frame. First finger on A, second finger on B flat, A. You can shift down here or stay up in position. G, F natural, E, D. Shifting down to first position, unless you did it earlier. C, B flat, A, G, F. Okay, so that's probably your hardest one. Close second is going to be E flat, and we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so thankfully the relative minor is much easier. Same key signature, a B flat, but we're going to be playing D natural minor starting on our open D string. So let's play that. D, E, F natural, it's going to be a half step above E, G, A, B flat, don't forget, low 1, C natural, D. Repeat the top note, C, B flat, A, G, F natural, E, D. Much easier, but same key signature, right? All right, we've got 2 majors to go. We've moved from 1 flat to 2 flats, which means we've added our E flat. So we have a B flat and an E flat in this key signature. So we're going to be playing the key of B flat major. This is going to start on a low 2 on the G string. If you need to find it, you can do that, or you can just feel A and then feel that B right next to it, okay? So we're going to play it from here. B flat, C, D, E flat, low 1, F, G, A, B flat. That's our first octave. Let's keep going. C, D, E flat. We have to play this one with a 4th finger, right? Because our open string is E natural. So E flat, 4th finger. F natural, low 1, G, A, B flat. There's the top. We don't have to shift. Okay, repeat the top note. Go down. A, G, F natural, E flat, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat. All right, a little bit easier than the last one, right? All right, the relative minor is going to be a G minor scale. We can start this one on the open G string, so this isn't going to go very high at all. It's going to have the same key signature as our B flat major scale, which means we're going to have two flats, B flat and E flat. Okay, so let's start on open G. A. B flat is a half step above A. C. D. E flat is a low 1. F. G. So no fingers touching there, right? Okay, repeat G. F. E flat. D. C. B flat. A. G. All right, not too hard. All right, last major scale. We've almost made it. This is going to be E flat major. It's going to have B flat, E flat, and A flat. It has 3 flats in it. So we'll go through this note by note. The other thing about this scale is it's going to require us to shift to 4th position. Remember, 4th position means we're going to go halfway around. We're not all the way around like we are for 5th, but we're halfway around. So 1st position through 3rd position, our thumb is like this. 4th position, we're halfway around. 5th position, we're all the way around. Okay? 3 flats. Let's go note by note. Okay? E flat, F, G, A flat, 4th finger touches G, it's a half step. B flat, low 1. C, D, E flat, low. E flat touches D, it's a half step, 4th finger. Okay, F, low 1. G, 3rd finger A flat touches G. This might feel a little bit unusual to you. Okay, now we have to shift. So we've played 1, 2, 3. Now, instead of playing 4th finger B flat, we're going to shift up to that B flat. So we've played, and now we're up to 1st finger, 4th position, B flat. If you're having trouble finding it, it's just a half step above that A, which would be 3rd position, okay? So 1st finger's on B flat, 2nd finger is on C, 3rd finger is on D, 4th finger is on E flat. You're gonna repeat the top note, and then back down. There's our B flat. We're going to shift down. 3rd finger, A flat. G, F. 4th finger, it's a low 4, E flat. D, C. Low 1, B flat. 4, a low 4, A flat. G, F, E flat, low 1. Right. Okay. So it's not as hard as it seems, and really it's just a matter of getting used to playing 1, 2, 3, shifting up to a B flat. And that might be one where you might want to isolate just that much, maybe go back and forth idly. Maybe you're practicing something else, and every few minutes you might go, or play the whole top octave or something like that. It's just something that maybe you haven't been asked to do very much in your repertoire, so that's always a good thing to practice a little extra of. All right, guess what? We've made it. Our last scale, C minor. So this is going to have 3 flats, just like E flat major, except we're going to start on the note C. C is now our tonic note. So we're going to start on our 3rd finger on the G string, okay? And remember, we have B flat, E flat, A flat in our key signature. So C, D, E flat, low 1, F, G, A flat is going to touch G, it's a 4th finger, low 4, B flat, low 1, C, 2nd finger. Repeat the top note, B flat, A flat, G, F natural, E flat, D, C. Okay, so we've made it through. We've talked through all these scales. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to play through all of those in the order that we just did them, okay? With a metronome. You can feel free to play along. If you need to slow them down a little bit, there is a feature on YouTube that can do that. If not, just play it with your own metronome and then try jumping in when you reach 80, okay? C major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. A natural minor, 1 octave. 1, 2, ready, go. G major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. E natural minor, 1 octave. 1, 2, ready, go. D major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. B natural minor, 1 octave. 1, 2, ready, go. A major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. F sharp natural minor, 1 octave. 1, 2, ready, go. F major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. D natural minor, 1 octave. 1, 2, ready, go. B flat major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. ready, go. E flat major, 2 octaves. 1, 2, ready, go. And finally, C, natural minor, 1 octave. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, so I hope that you found this video slightly useful, whether you skipped around or watched it front to back. I know it's kind of a long one, but hopefully it has been a little bit of a useful resource for you. If there are any questions or anything I haven't addressed that you would like addressed, just let me know in the comments, or you can contact me through my website as well. I wish you the very best of luck this year at your auditions, and as always, happy practicing.